So Avijit, let's come to, because we are talking about technologies and we are talking about IP revolution, and a lot of time we think, that one entity may not be good enough to do everything, and we want organizations to come together and function. How a public-private collaboration would expedite R&D, at the same time would bring up more IP in the market, and we may see a further IP revolution coming from IP industry partnerships. Your take on this?
Hello. Good evening, esteemed speakers and ladies and gentlemen present here. The intellectual property rights that creators and innovators are given over their intellectual works, including inventions, designs, literary works, and the trademarks, are known as intellectual property. By offering incentives for innovation, lowering risks, and simplifying the commercializations of research results, a strong intellectual property system is essential for advancing research and development and public-private partnerships. There is significant role of IPR in research and development, especially in reference to the India. These patents in particular give innovators temporarily exclusivity under IPR. Businesses, academic institutions, research centers are encouraged to invest in expensive and risky research and development by this exclusivity. Thereafter, the research findings that are protected by the IPR from unapproved use and copying. This is the special crucial for Indian academic institutions and entrepreneurs who might not have the resource to complete without legal protection. Copyrights and patents aid in turning research into commercially viable. Indian organizations that aggressively license patent and innovations to industry, such as CSIR, IITs, and ISS. There are a lot of IPR in public-private partnerships makes it clear who owns ideas created in collaborations between the public and private parties. Private entities are more willing to collaborate with public institutions when assured of IPR protection. This is crucial in sectors like healthcare, pharmaceuticals, defense, technology, and energy. IPR makes it possible to transfer publicly supported research to private organizations through organized licensing. For instance, under license agreements, private companies may commercialize government-funded research. PPPs allows for the expansion of patented technologies for general public in use. In India, the public interest is protected by mandatory licensing and government use regulations. Strong IPR frameworks are essential for promoting public-private partnerships-based innovations through programs like Make in India, Startup India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and National IPR Policy 2016. There are some private-public partnerships in India, that is CSIR. CSIR holds thousands of patents in pharmaceuticals, chemicals, and industrial processes. These patents are licensed to private companies for commercialization. Most recently, the COVID-19 vaccine, it is a public-private partnerships involving the Indian Council of Medical Research and the Bharat Biotech. IPR ownerships and licensing terms were clearly defined between these partners. In addition with that, there is a Bayer held a patent on the cancer drug Nexavator, priced very high in India. But now India granted its first compulsory license to Natco Pharma under the Patents Act 1970, allowed a private Indian firm to manufacture a cheaper version for public benefit. IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, and IIT Madras actively collaborate with the startups and industries. Universities retain IPR over inventions created through publicly funded research. ISRO is also an example of private-public partnerships. There are few challenges still in this area. That is, balancing intellectual property rights protection with the public interest is a critical challenge in the pharmaceutical sector. Strong patent protection is essential to encourage innovation, research, investment in the development of new drugs, which involves high cost, long timeline, significant risk. Without adequate IPR protection, pharmaceutical companies may lack incentives to invest in research and development. At the same time, excessive or rigid enforcement of patent rights can restrict access to affordable medicines, particularly in a developing country like India. One of the biggest problems in India is that researchers and MSMEs still have a lack of awareness, understanding of intellectual property rights. A lot of innovators don't know enough about the business significance of intellectual property rights, as well as the delays, prices, and procedures involved in submitting patents. But because of these, valuable inventions frequently go unprotected or are revealed too soon, which results in ownership and competitive advantage being lost. Now, negotiating intellectual property rights ownership in public-private partnership agreements is often complex due to different objectives of the public and private partners. Public institutions typically aim to ensure widespread access, affordability, and public welfare, while private entities focus on commercial returns, exclusivity, and competitive advantage. These differing priorities lead to challenges in deciding ownership of jointly developed IPR, revenue sharing arrangements, licensing rights, and control over future use, modifications of the innovations. Issues such as the background of IPR, foreground IPR, rights to improvements, and cross-licensing further complicate the negotiations. Ambiguity and imbalances in IPR clauses can result in disputes, projects delays, and reduce the private sector participation. So therefore, clearly defined IPR frameworks, transparent contractual terms, and standard model guidelines are essential to ensure fairness, reduce transactional cost, and foster successful and sustainable PPP collaborations. So intellectual property rights play a pivotal role in strengthening the research and development and fostering the effective public-private partnerships in India. By incentivizing innovations, facilitating commercialization, and enabling collaboration between the public and private sectors, IPR contributes significantly to economic growth and technological advancement. In India, must continue the refining its IPR framework to balance innovation incentives with broader social needs. Thank you for